of your time. I know everyone's pretty busy, so maybe not busy. So like I said before on Facebook, when we posted that we're working on rotation, everyone really wants to work on the explosiveness, but you have to make sure that you have all the qualities to do the explosiveness first. So number one's mobility and flexibility. Second, you have to be able to anti-rotate. You have to be able to withstand rotational forces first before you deliver a force. You know, Master Gafour, he is the 2020 armor, and a lot of that is, can you deliver enough force on this Hogu? And I think that's something that's been lost since the progression into electronic scoring. So we're going to work a little bit on that today. A lot of correctives. I made it tough on purpose today, just to get everyone to sweat. But also, I want you to feel what it truly feels like to engage your trunk in order to deliver force. Because if you're really sloppy and you're hitting a hard object and you're like, bleh, you're not going to deliver anything. Everything has to be engaged to deliver maximal power. Okay, so number one, mobility of the neck. This is what we went over 2 weeks ago. But to recap, in order for me to kick from here to here, I need essentially range of motion of my neck. Okay, so we're gonna work on that flexibility, in particular the levator scapula right here, which is connected from your neck to your shoulder blade. So everyone, I want you to turn to your right about 45 degrees, take one hand, you're going to distract the head, not crank on it. You're going to distract and then bring it down. Hold that. When you're doing this, take deep breaths. If you're stressed at home, working, or maybe you're even on video games too much, this is probably pretty tight on you. Too much Fortnite, too much Call of Duty. I don't play those games, so you're gonna go to the opposite side.
Yeah, it's like I only know what they mean. I couldn't even pick it out of a lineup of 10. So.
My professional athletes all play Fortnite and Call of Duty. It's so weird. They come into the.
They are at it. I'm like, how do you like? I guess like at the training center, I never played more video games than I was there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because you have the time. All you do is train, and then you go home and you're
supposed to
chilling.
You get really good at being a professional wrestler.
Right. Okay, we did a passive stretch for the neck. Now we want that active one. So we want to tuck your chin as far as you can. So if you look at me from the side, I'm going to tuck it. I'm not going to be lazy with it. So I'm going to tuck as far as I can, find out what that distance is. I'm going to use, for me, it's about 3 fingers. So once I have that, you're engaging the core of your neck, and you're going to rotate, keeping that engagement. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Okay, next up, we need that thoracic rotation or that mid-upper back rotation. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we did this stretch where we pushed here and went. Now we're gonna do a slight variation where both hands are here. So by doing this arm is engaged against the floor. We don't have anything passive to keep us down. So this is against the floor. You're going to look and then rotate as far as you can. Let's go 6 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's a total of 7. Go ahead and switch sides. Again, the arm that's towards the floor, you're engaging your shoulder blade to keep it down. So again, we're gonna go for 7 total. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, next up, we're gonna be on all 4s. So your toes are gonna be pointed. You're on your elbows. We're gonna do a quadruped thoracic rotation. So essentially, you're here. You rest your hands on your ears, on your one ear. You're going to rotate as far as you can. Here's the trick. When I teach this to a lot of students, they end up doing this. I'm cheating. See, all I'm doing is leaning to create space. What you want is pure rotation through your spine. So when you're opening up, you're reaching with this guy, you're stabilizing on this guy, and you're using your core to actually rotate you. So you're down, rotate up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Perfect. So before we switch, let me reiterate how important it is to do this technique correctly. Like I said, if you're doing it lazy and you just lean, and you wonder why you have a hard time spinning in place. You come off axis, you're either leaning here, and maybe your back kick is off center, right? So you ultimately want to keep a back kick directly here. So you wonder why sometimes you are going off center here, or you're just going all over the place. It's not because you can't aim. It's because you're not doing the necessary parts as exact as possible. So with this particular drill, make sure you are spinning so it mimics this. Okay, so we're gonna go to the other side. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Perfect. So we worked on passive thoracic rotation and active thoracic rotation. Now we're gonna prime your core, prime your trunk. And we work in diagonals when we create rotational power. So for this exercise, I'm gonna take my right hand, push it against my left knee. I'm not just gonna push, I'm gonna crunch up a little bit. I'm going to engage this oblique sling of my abs. So you're gonna push, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and switch, push, and then crunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right now you should feel your abs. They're activated, they're primed to get you ready for other things. Now we're going to add on to this. So the whole key with this one is to keep your back flat as possible. You do not want to arch your back. You want to keep it flat against the ground. So same thing, you're going to crunch, keeping this engagement. The other ones are here. I'm keeping my back flat. I'm going to go, abs are tight. 2, 3, 4. Relax your neck. Keep your abs tight. 5, 6, 7. So opposite arm. 8. Opposite leg. 9 and 10. It should be burning. Okay, go ahead and switch sides. Again, opposite hand to opposite knee. Crunch. Both arms. Arms and legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now you're probably asking, or I'm just going to tell you anyways, why it's important not to always be arched like this. So how many of you walk around like this all day, and then the more that you run, the more that you kick, then the bottom of your low back starts to tighten up, especially after training. It's because your spine, right here. Good thing I'm in the office.
Totally.
so here's my back. This is my back when I'm arching all day.
That was my back. That was my body at 127 pounds.
This is me at the old feather, 147, I believe.
Yeah, right.
149 made all the difference. But anyways, so if your back is always here, these bones in your back, these guys right here, your facets, they're always locked in. Now, you're gonna ask your body to rotate. It doesn't rotate. So when you do this, all you do is jam those bones. You create inflammation around the nerves. If it's really bad, it might go down your leg. So we wanna avoid that. Okay, so we got the core engaged. Now we wanna get the hips. We wanna get good mobility of the hips. So this is a good, simple one. Lie on your back, bring your feet apart. You're gonna bring your knees towards each other, but don't just bring them towards each other. You actually wanna rotate in your hips, inwards. So we're gonna, abs engaged, you're gonna bring them in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. You should not feel the pinching here. You should feel the hip joint actually open up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. We're gonna go 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Okay. So now that we passively got your hips to internally rotate, we also need to train it to do it actively. So here's a great one where you're actually weight bearing. So all we're gonna do here, we're gonna stand on the whatever leg you're focusing on, slight knee bend, and my back leg is just for support. So all I'm gonna do, I'm keeping my abs tight. I'm going to rotate towards it and then rotate against it. So I'm keeping this tight and I'm just focusing on my hip going inwards and then outwards. Inwards and outwards. If you imagine what I'm doing with my hip, this is this, that is that. Understand? So if you don't have good hip mobility, all you're doing is from here. You want to be able to drive through and then create power. You're going to drive through your hips to create power. Okay? We're going to switch to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm going to challenge you. You're going to balance. Instead of using this one, you're going to be here in the air. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead and switch sides. Again, it's a lot of balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Hard enough, but as you advance, you can do hip airplanes where you're opening up this way. Okay? But one step at a time. Last but not least, we're going to work on 2 core rotational pieces. So the first one is a rotational plank. So we're going to be in a prone plank position. Again, do not arch your back. Keep your ribs to your hips. Squeeze your butt. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Okay, this is the starting position. Now, I'm going to rotate towards my right, all in one unit. The key is, do not do this. 1, 2, do not do that. You're going to keep everything engaged in one piece. Engage your lats, engage your core, engage your glutes, and rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, before we go to the other side, let's explain why this is so important again. If I'm doing a back kick, and there's this huge lag between this and this, I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna go 1, 2. I wanna keep everything in one unit. I see my target, whether I'm going offense or I'm going defense, everything is in one piece. So it all starts here. So go ahead to the other side. Plank position. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that is rotation for your posterior chain because we are doing back kicks. So what about if I am coming with a off the line roundhouse kick? I need to get my anterior, my front rotation here. So this is all one unit and I can go. So we're gonna start here. All fours, keep your abs engaged. So when we look at back position, we don't wanna be too far arched or even too far flexed. So go to the end range of your arch, come out of it just a little bit, and then engage your core. That is probably your neutral. So here, from this position, I'm gonna lift my knees. Now everything's engaged. I am going to rotate to my back and then rotate to my front. Again, I'm gonna show the back. I don't want this, that. I want everything to move together. Okay? So pick a side. 1, 2, keep this engaged. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead, we're gonna switch sides. Now I'm gonna challenge it even more. I want 3 seconds to 3 seconds back. So keep that engaged the entire time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep it together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're ready for Tim. But just to recap, we had neck mobility, thoracic mobility, got a little engagement of the core. We got the hips to move a little bit. Now we're creating, we're functionally putting it all together to create power. All right, Tim.
Awesome, Doc. Thank you, guys.
All you, brother.
Applause. Yeah, say, I'll unmute everyone. We can give them a clapping of the hands.
Yay!
And now I can go back to okay, you guys got me. I'm going to unpin you. I'm going to give myself the spotlight. Awesome, Doc. That was really good. I think it tied everything together. You guys can hear me okay? Thumbs up. We're good. Awesome. So like we said, first week we worked on linear mobility correctors with Dr. Han. Now we're going and taking this into, I'm going to pin myself to be safe. There. Let me turn it into lateral work. We know for Taekwondo, it's not multi-dimensional, multi-directional. You know, fight people in the 5th dimension. It's not that advanced yet, but we're getting there. But right. So for this stuff, we're going to be turning into rotation. It's built a lot on the lateral parts for us, and it's a transition, especially from in our sport, lateral to linear to lateral, accelerating and decelerating. So if you're not familiar with that stuff in the first couple weeks, just follow along. We're going to do a quick recap here for a couple minutes. We're going to do a couple drills I think you can do from your home really well. Lateral stuff or rotational stuff does work a little better with a little more space or some equipment like a box or something to jump on and off of to create support there. So just a precursor there on some of these drills. So first one, let's go back into deep squat mobility. So here we go, everyone. Back's going to stay flat here. Hips go back, 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 back. Hips flat, knees straight. Now drop your hips down. Here to the bottom. Right, nice and low. Right arm up. Then left arm up. And both arms up and stand. That's one. Let's do 4 more. Ready? Hips back. I'll lift in the front. Drop it back down. Right arm up. Here we go. Now keep that up. And now left arm up. Both arms up. And I can go thumbs back. Keep your scap locked in and stand. So a couple more. Hips back. Go this way, hips back, nice and flat again. No bending of the knees, and no rounding here, right? Bring your hips down. Right arm up, nice and high. Left arm up, and you can see a little bit of rotation in the torso there. Both arms up, thumbs back, and stand one more time. Hips back, down. Doc already got us ready to be in position, so we're good. Right arm up, left arm up. Heels are flat on the ground. You can't see my heels. I'm not pulling up here on my heels. They're locked on the ground. Both hands up, thumbs back, and stand. Okay, that's just kind of regular mobility. Last week we did lateral lunge. Just want to go over that position really quickly. Go from sideways. Again, it's not the old Taekwondo stretch where you kind of go like, right? What we're looking for here, heels, both feet are flat on the ground. I'm trying to give you both views so you can see where I'm at. Flat on the ground. My shoulder and my knee are going to be in alignment. I thought I brought a stick over. But when my hips go back, see my shoulder and my kneecap are in one straight line here. So I'm not bending forward here. And just stay with me. My feet are going to be not moving. Break to our right knee, hands together, hips back 5 times. 1 and up. Good. 2, hips go back, 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 and up. And 3, hips back and up. 4, and push up. And 5. We're going to need that a lot to create rotational power. Other leg here. 5 times 1, sit back. And again, shoulder and knee are in alignment. Up. 2, hips back, and really push to stand here. Back up, slow down, and 3, and stand. Both feet flat on the ground. 4, up. 1 more time, and 5. Okay, so that's kind of, again, should be more or less caught up on a couple things so far. The next one we're going to do is called a lunge matrix. So you are in the matrix. You know, here's over 40. You get that reference, and if you don't, I apologize. That's all I got. So the lunge matrix is a 3 combination lunge move. It'll be a good precursor for rotational power. It's going to go and fall along with me. First one's lunge forward. We would normally do this weighted, holding like a kettlebell. And second one is 45 degrees. So your non-lunging knee is going to be bent. So if I go here, yeah, it's bent here. I'm at an angle now. Like Dr. Hahn said, a lot of diagonal angles in rotational power. Down and up. And number 3 is lateral. Okay? Other leg, fall with me. Just going to go through these. Lunge forward, 1. Down and up. Chest stays upright. My back knee just kisses the ground. I just backing up. Number 2, 45-degree angle. My back knee is still bent. You can see it in different angles as possible. And finally, lateral lunge out and back. That's one. Let's do a couple more each side. And if you do have an object or a small child sitting around, that'd be really great to hold. They're a dog that's not too big. Again, let's move together. Ready? Forward lunge, 1. Rotational lunge, 2. Diagonal lunge, 2. Back knee is bent. And now 3 to the side, lateral lunge. And back a little faster. Here we go. Forward lunge, 1. Diagonal, 2. And knees bent. And then 3 to the corner, feet are flat. One more time through. Lunge forward, 1. Diagonal, 2. Separation, and 3. Here, left side. Lunge forward, 1. Diagonal, 2. And then lateral, 3. So hopefully you see how some of the parts we're doing, it's a combination of linear and lateral to use this for power. If we look at it from a speed perspective, I look at this from a speed perspective here. Forward, we're gonna go fastest, right? Also, some of the most simple type of movement. Forward. Tell me when to run, they're not gonna shuffle sideways. Number 2, lateral is gonna be some of the slower movements, but a little more, a little more technical there. And finally, rotational is gonna combine those. So it has to combine starting, stopping, and forward going really fast, decelerating, and turning. So that's what we're looking to combine here. The next one we're gonna do, let's get back in our snap down position. And that was from last week. I'll go down just a little bit. Here we go. Let's see, okay. Everyone says the volume's up. I will stay a little closer. You guys can hear me okay now? Thumbs up. And I'll be screaming. I don't care. It's 10:30 Pacific and we already had coffee and Red Bull, so I don't mind. Snap down position, right? When I say that, that's our athletic jumping position here. When I say go, both feet, we're just gonna freeze. Shoulders and knees are in alignment, so I'm not here and I'm not here, right? Hips go back and catch. I'll do this without sound so you can see my body, but it's right there. Okay, ready? We're gonna do 3 of these from here, from static and snap down, go. Right into position. That's 1. Now let's do single leg. Go to your right leg. Ready, and 2. Single leg, you should be totally stacked, head down the center. We're in this position. So that way when we're fighting, we need to land. We're not landing in bad positions to move again. We're setting ourselves up for the next movement we're gonna do, and we're totally stacked. Okay, left leg, last one, ready, and snap down, go. Find that position, no wobble, no movement, and we're set. Okay, great. So we're good there. on those parts. And again, these are just kind of quick recaps we've been doing so everyone knows some of the terminology we're going to get to. For rotation, we have the lunge, we have the lateral movement. The first one's going to be into the skater lunge. We're going to build off that with some jumps. Okay, so the skater lunge again, that single leg snap down. From here on my right leg, I'm going to push over to my left leg and catch in that same spot. Okay, so again, everyone get snap down position, right leg, and catch and freeze. From here, everything's tight. I want you to push over with your muscle, not from leaning, but from here, push over to the left side and catch. Go. Awesome. Now let's go back to the right and go. Oop, little wobbly there. Ready? The right side and go. One more time and go. Okay, awesome. Good. So everyone's comfortable on snap down and lateral skater lunge. If we can do that, you're going to crush this part of the session. First one is going to go jump. Nice and easy. You probably do these in warm-ups all the time. I want to give a different spin on it. Jump, rotation, and catch. Both legs. Okay, so on my count, I'm going to say jump right, and then alternate, we're going to jump left. Okay, so easy rotation here. From here, both feet, everyone find snap down position. Freeze. Ready? And jump right, and twist, and catch. Right? Picture yourself in a small circle you can't get out of. So for me, I might say, hey, this little circle here, can I go and land in it every time? I want to be that accurate. Jump in other direction. Ready? And go. Jump. Catch. Okay, two more. Jump left and go. Good. And jumping right and go. Right, we're landing in place. That one was not so great for me. But you get the idea of where we're going. Okay. From here, single leg. Make it a little more complex. Single leg snap down from jump. I want to go up, rotate, and catch in place. I'm going to need this for some of the drills we're going to do here in a minute. From here, everyone find single leg snap down and go and freeze. In that position, right, we're pushing in the ground to get lift. Up, rotate, and I want a 2-foot landing to start. We'll go from 2 to 1. So from here, everyone find snap down again for me and go. Ready, and jump and both leg catch. Go. Awesome, pretty good, pretty good. Let's try other leg here. Both legs down, single leg snap down, jump, and catch on both feet. Go. All right, so you see me how I'm kind of like worming through the jump a little bit. I'm gonna be pushing against the ground a little more here. Let's try one more time with right leg in the snap down position. And go right here. Excellent, hold, hold, hold. Good, and go, jump, and catch. All right, last one, here we go. Left leg, jump, and catch. Go. All right, so those were all kind of pieces of the drill. What I want to do now is put it all together. So we're going to go lateral skater lunge from here to forward to catch, jump, and catch. Okay, so combination. So we're going to go lateral on the jump from here. I'm not using my momentum to turn forward. We're using our muscles and our body staying rigid to go from jump to push out. And what position do I land in? Snap down position every time. I'm finding this spot in movement at the start and beginning of every movement I'm in. So it's like fighting. You don't do a kick and end up in a really crappy spot. From here, jump, and then freeze. Okay, so at speed, just gonna go when I say 1, up from single leg, skater lunge to turn, and turn with no pause. Thumbs up, sounds good? We go through, we're good. Mark, we're good. Master Nash, we're good. Awesome, guys. Okay, here we go. Get where I can see you, get a little space. Single leg, snap down, go. Freeze. And lateral skater lunge with rotation to 360. Here we go. And 1, jump, and freeze. Awesome. From here, go other direction now. Snap down left leg. And skater lunge, push out. You're gonna be 90 degrees turn. We don't reload as soon as you land. You're pushing up and going. All right, ready, hold, and 2. Good. Okay, again, right leg snap down and hold. There we go, and 3. And usually we use these again onto a box or something, or off a box with a depth jump, but this will work really well. Here we go, left leg, other side, and 4. Still holding it. Ah, missed it. Okay, they're not all winners. From here, adding another layer of complexity. I want lateral jump. Here out, I turn this way. Now we're gonna have to anti-rotate and go the other direction on the jump. So for fighting, I think this one's gonna be really, really important because we wanna turn one way, then you wanna go here. If you keep going the same direction, really predictable. So to be able to go with accuracy and controlling our turn mid-movement, I just think that's the jam right there. Okay, so it's gonna go like this, from single leg, skater lunge out, one this way. See, I'm already turning here. Like Dr. Hahn showed how to control the core in the rotational plank. Now we're putting that into play. I'm tight and rotated. I have decelerated my movement by dropping my hips. Up, turn, and catch. Thumbs up if we're good. So we're jumping the other direction. Seems simple, levels of complexity harder. Here we go, find me that snap down, and go, snap down. All right, here we go, ready, out, and jumping the other direction. And 1. Ah, I still get mad when I don't get these right. Here we go, other direction. Jumping out to your right and then turning to your left. And 2. Okay, not bad. 2 more. Here we go, right. Here, and jump and turn, and go. Okay, got it. One more time. Snap down position. One leg, jump out to your right, turn to your left though. And go. All right, last one of this movement. We're gonna add one more piece here, is single leg landing on the last jump. So it's gonna go skater lunge, out and rotate, decelerate, rotate against your body, turn, 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 single leg, stick the landing. In what position? Say it with me, in that athletic position, in your snap down. No matter how much complexity we add here, you're gonna be in that same starting spot. Like if I said freeze and snap down, I wouldn't tell if it was at the start or the finish of a drill. That's what we're looking for. Total control with power, not just power and like a bunch of slop, right? I always want to drop some names of people that I have in my mind that fight like that, but I don't. You know why, Dr. Hahn? Professional, because we're pros. I don't do that. I'll tell you what it rhymes with. No, I won't. I won't do that. Okay, here we go.
Can I ask one question? Is that okay? Can I just jump in with a question here?
Let's see. I think someone's on mute. There we go.
I just had one question quick, Tim.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I'm starting the skater lunge on my right leg and I'm jumping and rotating, am I landing on my left or my right?
That's a great question. Let's go through it. Skater lunge out. If I go right to left, jump, I would go to left. I'll go the opposite leg. So if you're starting on your right, I challenge you to land on your opposite leg. Doesn't really matter, but could be, I think it's more challenging that way. Sound good? Thumbs up, awesome. Here we go. Hardest one yet. Skater lunge, rotation, 90 degrees. Decelerate as soon as we're in the ground, right? We're gonna absorb force. You're getting off the ground as quickly as we can. Rotate, rotate, and stick. Single leg. Here we go. All right, right leg and snap down, go. Find your spot. This is our center. This is our rest right here. Every time I do it, head to toe is in alignment. All right, ready? And 1, jump. Ah, not quite, okay. Other leg, here we go, right? And 2, try and cover some ground. 2. Okay, 2 more. I'm gonna put someone else on the screen. Here we go, ready, jump and rotate and try and catch. Be ready for nationals in no time, guys. And 3. So frustrating. Okay, 1 more, right? But it's real. It'd be a magic trick if I did it right every time. And last one, here we go. And 4. Almost. Wasn't in a good position, but at least I held it. Okay, next one, dot drill. So picture you have 5 dots here. I'll move these up just a little bit for you guys. You see them here? You can't. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna go single leg, forward and back 1, around the world 2 and 3, right here and 4. Any question? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so here we go. So everyone get snap down single leg. We're gonna try and do these, the first ones, one at a time. Then we're gonna go for speed now, see how much we've improved from the first week. Here we go, right leg and snap down, go. Find it, hold it, nice and controlled. And top right, go. 1 and 2. As soon as we're in the ground, we're back out. And 2, go, top left. Good, next is back right. 3. Good, now back left, 4. Awesome, switching legs, here we go. Front left, go. In and out, control your body. We're not going because we're leaning, we're going because we're in control. 2. All right, back left, 3. And one more time, back right, 4. See, that one's still a little slow for me. Okay, that was what we did the first week. The last one we're gonna do here is gonna go top left, top right, back left, back right, no stopping. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Freezing on the center piece right here. Okay? Here we go. Awesome. So everyone, again, one more time, find your snap down position. Go nice and strong. Awesome. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Any direction you want, cover some ground. And go. And freeze. Good. Other leg, I had a double hop in the middle. Other leg, left leg, trying to single hop. Control your rotation in different diagonal planes every time. Here we go. Left leg, and go. Okay, good. Right leg a little faster now. Here we go. And diagonal, diagonal, back and back. And go. Trying to do this mirror image. When I jump this way, I look to my right and it's going to my left. It's weird. Here we go, left leg. Last set, best set. Nice and controlled. All right, here we go. And go. And freeze. Right there in the middle. We got a winner at the end. Okay, that was awesome. A couple questions here I see. When you do these, how many sets or reps would you recommend? Do you rest between each rep? Give myself a Red Bull break, I'm gonna answer that. So, should you rest between sets? First of all, absolutely. There's a thing called aerobic plyometrics. What that is essentially, it's like everyone here could probably bounce like this for 30 minutes, right? Easily. If you're in fighting shape, no problem. So what aerobic plyometrics is, it's like one step above that. We're doing jump, jump, you know, maybe boom, we're kind of moving around. So it's plyometrics, but see how low of a level it is, right? It's something that's sustainable. So we're trying to make dynamic contractions sustainable. So part of the idea, I'll get my box here. So let's take this. This is a 30-inch, I'll prove it to you, my 30-inch box right here, right? And let's say this is how, let's say it's 50 inches. So part of the advantage of training our musculature to produce more force, if I can jump on this and now it's nice and easy at 50 inches, well, I break it down to 24 inches here, right? And what percentage of my overall output is that? Under 50%. So now that should be relatively easy to do, meaning I should be able to do.
If you don't have that.
50%. Hold on, I'm talking right now. Thank you very much. 1 second, Leah. I'm sorry. So as we get that overall abilities raised up, right, then things that are sub-maximal, we call it, are now sustainable contractions, right? And you can see it where you're fighting someone, they're moving at 100% of their ability versus someone you're fighting someone who's like a lower rank or whatever, not as good. And that fight's easier. You're not going quite as hard. So same idea. So that'd be the first thing. If we don't combine reps and sets in a meaningful way, you're doing aerobic plyometrics, which is fine. That is different than using this to increase your overall athleticism and potentiality, what you're capable of. So if we're going to do that, there's a lot of different guides out there. So I'm trying to think of what, Dr. Ron, who's the guy, I can't think of his name, that has the ground contact time. They did it with plyometrics of how many ground contact reps per week you should do. You know what I'm talking about?
I can't think off the top of my head right now.
So I'll find it here real quick. I can't think of it. Basically, they matched it up to weightlifting numbers and said, you know, for this many reps, you do what we want to do, like sets of 5 reps of jumps, where you probably need a little bit of rest. You can probably do, you know, 3 to 5 sets of that, right? And then if you want to do higher jumps, you're trying to do 1 or 2 reps at a time. Well, that takes a little more rest because it's more of your output, right? So it's a sliding scale. The more we're asking of you, the longer rest you need, right? The less we're asking. If it's this, you don't need any rest, right? It's such a low percentage of output. So it's a sliding scale of what we're asking of you versus how much time you need, right? And that's like that on a rep and set level. Think about fighting in the finals of nationals or a G1. How long do you need between semis and finals? Hopefully like an hour, because the output's so high to recover, not just physically, not just from your lungs, but like neurologically. You need to get your brain recharged for a second and calm it down, like it back up. So all those.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Doc.
It's a loaded question because it really depends, right? It's a general question, but what we do is, like, if we're working with individual athletes, we're trying to find out what your deficiencies are.
Yep.
So like if you saw me, like when I was fighting anaerobically, I was very good. You know, I could deliver a lot of power, I could recover, but my aerobic base wasn't nearly as great. So my main competitor was Mark Lopez, right? So Mark had an incredible aerobic base.
Yes.
But anaerobically, he wasn't as powerful as me.
Right.
So I had to make sure my power was kept clean, and we still worked on that. But the aerobic part is what I needed primarily in order to it was 9 minutes when we were fighting back in the day, you know, because it was, yeah, three 3-minute rounds. And in order to keep up with someone with that capacity, I had to work on certain parts. So depending on what you need, you're going to naturally have some type of ability. Like sprinters naturally have anaerobic capacity. Marathon runners have aerobic capacity. So knowing the demands of this fight, we basically evaluate who you are, and then we try to pick and choose exactly what you need. You know, that's kind of my way of working around that answer.
That's absolutely right. And Bella just started with our remote coaching company yesterday. We were talking about this. What's up, Bella? She's from goes to the academy out in Colorado Springs, and we're excited to a big future ahead. And we were talking about this, right? Of how we have these different areas, and that's what makes Taekwondo so fun, but so complex, is you can't just be like, good, get better, more aerobic, even more. Like, yeah, if you're a marathon runner, that's the name of the game, right? Back squat 55 pounds and win the marathon. You're good, but we can't, right? Or if you're Steven, he can already squat a house, then like, does he need to get stronger, right? We always say you have to be strong enough in the sport to make the chest gear work. There's a nice segue into our next section, right? To make the chest gear work. So what are those parts you need? They all fit together, and then different fights pull out different ones, right? Against Mark, you might have felt like, your aerobic base wasn't enough, but against someone else, maybe even more, right? You're fighting, Dominican Republic. Your aerobic base is great, right? You're like, he's on his knees, like, he's doing, it was crazy. So every fight, we always say it's relative to the who your opponents are, which is why the sport's so fun and challenging, and so difficult to navigate.
It's interesting. I have 3 world silvers, but the best I've ever done in the Pan Am region is 3rd, right? Because like the European Asian style was very, very technical. At least when we were fighting, it was very technical. So we could sit, we could, pick and choose our moments. But when you fought like the South American countries, all they do is go, 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 go. Yep. And then it may be sloppy or whatnot, but once you start to get tired, it starts to open up opportunities for them.
Yeah.
When I was getting tired. So
they're used to that game. That's all they play, is they want to get the crowd like it's WWE. I want to
Right,
get
right, right.
exciting. And so, yeah, I agree. That was a great question. We can answer more of that there. Next up, we have a huge honor. We have, give you a spotlight. Everyone knows 2020 Armor here, a man who needs no introduction, but I'll introduce you anyways. A longtime friend of ours from the Canadian national team and top international fighter, top national fighter for their country. Mr. Ali Ghafour is here. I'm going to give you the spotlight, sir. And he's going to, the reason this started is I literally last night, 9 p.m., I saw the video you did probably in the same room about training from home. And I think that you're probably still live, and I'm like, we need to tell people more about this because it was so great. So we're honored to have you here. The floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's great to see former teammates again doing what you guys do. Man, the stuff that you guys are teaching is gold. It's so great. I wish I knew this when I was an athlete. And that's what I want to share with you is some of the stuff that I've learned, and I want to share with you, and hopefully you can make your training better. Yeah, quick background again, national team member, about the same time as Coach Tim and Dr. Han. Mr. Landon's a little bit ahead of us, one generation. But basically, created this vest here behind me, and it answers questions that we weren't able to answer when we were training and that people aren't able to answer right now, such as what's my reaction time compared to the world champion? I would have liked to know that. What am I peaking, plateauing, or declining for my next competition? Now, if you live in a facility where you have gear that can tell you that information, that's great. But if you're just at home, which you are most of the time, that's hard information to get by. And then the last is, am I back from 100% from my injury? Injury is part of the game. You have to assume you're going to get injured, and even during a match, you're going to be injured. But how do you know you're back 100%? So this is the answers that I set to answer, and I'm going to share some of that stuff with you, and hopefully you get an insight out of it and value. And obviously, if you have any more questions, you can ask me or your three coaches up here. Quickly, most of you might know what 2020 Armor is, but just in case you don't physically, it's like this vest here. Okay, the display is built right in. It's got 10 game modes. You can connect an app to it, and it shows you all that information. And I want to share with you why that information is important and how I use it and how you guys can potentially use it for your own training. Now, instead of me actually doing the exercise, because that would be hard for me to show you some of the detailed numbers, Coach Tim, can I share my screen?
Let me give you Pribs. Let me make you co-host here. I think you can do there. I think you can share your screen now. Check it.
Perfect. Okay. Great. You guys can see my my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So what this is there's two modes for. I'm going to show you first of all the reactions, power, and speed, and then the two views of this and why this is important. Okay, this is we call live view for reaction. So you put the vest on the bob, or you're getting a partner to hold it for you, and the lights flash. Okay, and by the time the lights flash and you kick, that is your reaction time. Okay, now you can do anything. You can do a pure physical exercise. You can do a specific kick like fast kick, back kick, roundhouse kick, cut kick, punch, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It just lights flash and you have to hit it. Okay, and what you can see here, so you can record the video, so you can send it to your coach, and also share it online and compare what other people do. And it shows you overlaid on top of your video stream your last hit. So it shows you what your last hit was, your best time that you had for that round, your average reaction time, and how many of the stimulus you got right. So if you did 20 lights that flashed, and how many of them you actually got right. Okay. So now what's actually happening is all these exercises that you're doing right now, you'll be able to see how that's impacting your actual movement. So, you know, those amazing movements and that stretching exercise you did now, if you were to measure your reaction time for specific things before and after, you could see the results of that. Right now, the only way we can see the results of this amazing stuff that you guys are doing is usually after a tournament, the results, right? So how do we tell beforehand that it's working, all right? And that you get that self-confidence, but also maybe you need to might tweak something or increase, right? Maybe I can do more. And so this is really a predictor that we've never had before or access to in a kind of mass market way. Because there's three things for a game, right? Mental, strategy, and physical. Obviously, strategy is important in our game. You can't avoid that. Mental is important. It's hard to measure mental. Like, how do you say you're 100% mental, right? Other than feeling. Strategy, yeah, that can change up the game, but we can measure physical. And that's a big predictor for a game, but we don't do that right now. So this is an advantage that we can have. And now that we're stuck at home, this is even more reason to do it. So that's reaction time. Power, again, very important in our sport. Even in today's game, even though it is more light touch based, but if you can sustain your power over time, you have good stamina, and stamina is important no matter what. And so in this live view, again, we show you your hits, your last hit, how strong it was, what your best hit was, and what your average power was. Okay, pretty straightforward there. And again, you can do any technique you want. And then stamina. This is an interesting one. So what we do is we base it on 10-second intervals. Because an exchange is anywhere between 5, 6 to 8 seconds, right? In Taekwondo. And so we decided to go for the longer one instead of the shorter interval because we want you to work harder. So we measure every 10 seconds how much power you input into the system. And then we graph that over time.
And
so we're
showing like this much relative to power from the first 10 seconds to 60 seconds in. That's clever, man. Oh, that's so clever.
Yeah. I'll show you the graph of that. Right now, I'm showing you what the live view is. So basically, you would train like this, and then you send this to your coach, so you're seeing how they're actually, going up and down. And for you, while you're training, you're seeing like kind of what's going on. Yeah, I'll show you that. It's really cool when you actually analyze the results. So while you're actually training, you show you the current interval, what your best 10-second interval was, what the average interval power was, and what your total power is for that whole segment. Okay. Let me go into the results for the stamina. So this is what you would see. Okay. At the end of the training session, you'd get this information. So these are your 10-second intervals, right? So this is like I'm all over the place, right? For some reason, at 80 seconds, I got this burst of energy, and I got a whole bunch of stamina. But you start off about around 1,200 joules, kind of peak down, go up. So this probably tells me that probably don't have very good technique, and kind of all over the place. And I just need to be a lot more cleaner. But for a high performance athlete, for Mr. Landon, what we'd expect us to see pretty consistent near the top, and stay flat. You want that, right? Some people, at the beginning level, they'll start peaking and then they'll start going down, and they'll be able to see where they're going down, and that's when basically their stamina is starting to go down, right? And so you can now address specifically at that point. That's when you need to improve your stamina points. The reaction graph, the details are here as well. So exactly at what point your time is. And again, if you are a high performer, so again, for Mr. Lamley, we should expect the reaction time to be pretty low pretty consistently. But if you're trying to get to that level, you might be able to see where in the round am I seeing my drop off. And if I'm focused on that, if I know, hey, my reaction time just tends to get down for some reason at this period, then I can improve myself and have a mental focus to strive towards. And the same thing with power. Again, for high performance athletes, we'd expect this to be pretty flat. But if not, then we can specifically find out.
That's why that data is so important. Is you should expect that. Now we can tell before the competition, without having teammates to go live against to know, oh, I'm still hitting them pretty solid, that I should be. And that's when I saw this last night. I thought that was just so like.
That's the only way to know. Yeah, that's the only way we knew back then, right? When we were competing, that's the only way we know now. And
these are the tools we got.
Yeah.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yes, sir.
So this stuff's amazing. This is the stuff that professional athletes use, professional teams. And I'll tell you right now, like, yes, we can go on a feel, right? Like, okay, the person, like, I work with a professional soccer team right now. So yeah, are they doing well on the field? Do they look crisp? Do they look like this? But you don't have any hard data. So you need to actually put all of the information together. So essentially, if I was gonna summarize this, you need data for yourself to monitor your progress, whether you are trying to peak or whether you're trying to come back for an injury and see where you were before the injury and after the injury. So I'll give you an example of like the stuff that we have at the LA Football Club. So when we're looking at, you said that power, we have force plates. So what we do with our athletes, we do force plate measurements pretty much every day in training before they go out on the pitch, right? So we're looking at max force input into the floor. So if we look at from an individual like reading, it doesn't tell you much. We want to look at it over time. So let's say such and such athlete A, right? We're watching them on the field and it's like, they don't look as good as they were 2-3 weeks ago. And then we look at their data over the weeks and it's like, yeah, his force plate measurements are actually lower. So then we can decide as a performance staff how we're going to address it. Does the person need more strength and weight and stuff? Maybe he's burnt out. Maybe we have to increase how much he's regenning or how much recovery he's getting, or even give him a little break from the next game. Like maybe play him 45 minutes instead of the 90, right? Yeah. But all of this data pretty much helps you decide what is best for you, you know, and these things as far as like your reflexes and aerobic capacity and just anaerobic capacity over time. Those are the things that make or break you when you're fighting, right? So like how many of you out there by the end of the second or going into the third round, you just tank, right? So now you either in your training or either in your or your strength and conditioning program, you can target those pieces. And then a week or two later, you can test. You can see, is it actually paying off into my sport, which is fighting? And does it pay off when I'm hitting Bob, I'm killing Bob all day, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, this stuff's amazing.
Yeah, who does that before a comp? I think I'm ready. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready, right? Master Co has a question. He goes, is there a graph that shows power reaction time and speed on the same graph?
Yes, it's funny you bring that up. So another test we have is called a fit test, okay? And what we do is we measure all three of those things in a 5-minute interval, and we show all three of those related to each other. And what the idea there is that we wanted a standardized fit test. Like, are you fit? You know, like, you know, the beep test for running, right? So I think for soccer players, and Dr. Han, you know, obviously much more than I would on this, but I think a basic test from what I understood is they did the basic beep test to see if your stamina is there, right? Mm-hmm. And so this fit test is we created the same thing. Is you did 2 minutes of reaction time, 1 minute of power, and then 2 minutes of stamina. And there's 1 minute break in between, and we compare all those, and we correlate that into one data point, and then you send that to your coach. So this is my fit test for before practice. This is my fit test after practice. This is my fit test before a juice compound exercise. This is my fit test before a game, after a game. So now you have the standardized piece of testing that you could do, and you can compare it every time. So these graphs that I showed you it's more free form. You could test specific things. But then the fit test, the idea is you do standardized things, and you can determine what that standard is. We'll give you a suggestion of what all the basic things you should do, but you can come up with your own as well. And then that Master Co will allow you to see all three together.
Yeah, that's huge. It just reminds me of how like we used to have, you know, the old concussion test was like written test. Like, tell me these numbers. And I got a concussion one time, but I found their sheet and I was like memorizing the numbers like all foggy, but I was like 6-4-3-7 bird piano, like remember they're gonna ask me this, right? But now they have a neurological baseline to start the year, and so now you can't. I feel like that's this, like we know healthy, an athlete is here, we know you won world championships, your numbers were here. You lost first fight at States, your numbers were here, and you can be like, holy crap, you're very close to going out there and being a dud. Obviously there's more factors than that, but if we can control more, like it just, there's nothing. I mean, like I said, as soon as I saw this last night, I was like, no one's doing this in the sport. No, like no one, I'll say that. I'm not a partner. We don't have a link share. There's no one's doing this in the sport. And I'm just so impressed with it. We
did kick the crap out of it in Vegas that one year.
We did.
Yeah.
And any final, so we'll put contact info up here. Any final things they have to know about this? Maybe we'll bring you on again soon and do some reaction stuff, or I thought there's so much more we can do here. This is like this.
Yeah, I want to give you a high-level overview, exactly, just to kind of digest it, because it's kind of new to this world. And then, yeah, we can do a specific exercise on a specific technique and show you that and analyze that together and why that, and then one thing that we could do is like, okay, guys, we're going to do the kick and you're going to do it this way. Okay, now do this, and then you see the results right away, right? The machine doesn't lie to you. It'll tell you that power consistently over time. I'll send you guys a link as well so for more information. The last thing I wanted to show was this part. Everyone knows the little Yvette Young here, little but very mighty. She's our athlete ambassador. But what you can do after you do your practice is there's a button that you share and all the stuff you put online. Now, obviously, it's up to you to do this or not. But what this does is creates a friendly competition, especially when we're locked up at home right now, to compare with each other. It's like, okay, guys, this is my left leg fast kick. These are my times. What do you guys got, right? Show me if you can beat me. And it just creates that competition outside of your garage.
Yeah, no, I love it. This is cool. If they want to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, I'll put in the chat my email and also just a website that has more detail than just kind of me talking. And
awesome.
then reach out to me that way.
Awesome. Well, sir, this was really, really great. Let me see if I can cancel the screen share here, and but this was awesome, guys. Give them a round. This is, I don't see anyone doing this in the sport at all. There, yeah, good stuff all around. Let's see, can you cancel your screen share for me, sir?
Oh, yes, sorry.
No problem. I don't know how to do it, but awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, and check out his stuff. It's, like I said, really, really good. And I just think, man, if I had a team and I could have everyone with one of these, when you're running training now, you're not just like kicking Bob, but you're like, I want data. Like for me, we say for Steven, I mentioned this, I have a test of aerobic power that I put him through before competition. And it's death by 10 meters, right? Minute 1, he has to run 10 meters. Minute 2, it's 10, 20 shuttle. Minute 3, 10, 20, 30, right? For most people nationally, I want them to get to minute 18. I know they have enough aerobic capacity. For international, for him, I made him do it on the air bike, 1 calorie every minute. He got to 22 before the Olympics. But just like, I know I need him to have this much of a base to do it. And not just like, I think you're running fast, bro. The same idea, right? If we had that, it would be killer. So thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Way cool, sir. And I'm going to give now spotlight to the man of the hour who's going to kick us all out and put it together. Mr. Stephen Lambden, take it away, sir.
Hey, thanks. Hey. So real quick, just because I know it's a Sunday and nobody likes to spend their entire afternoon with us, what we're going to go through. So hypothetically, let's say we're crushing it on mobility. We know how to make sure our upper body, our neck, everything like that is mobile. Like like Dr. Hahn showed us. Excuse me, don't want to disrespect the doctor. Then through Tim, we know how to recruit and create that power consistently. So what's the next step? We actually have to do it, right? It's like you can have an awesome hang clean, you can have an awesome squat, you can be super mobile, but it's like at the end of the day, at some point you still have to throw a roundhouse kick, right? And so we're going to start to apply that right now. We'll do a quick warm up just to loosen back up for like 1 or 2 minutes. Then we're actually the last 2 weeks, if you were here, we went through a bunch of off the front leg cut kick. Well, today, since it's rotational, guess what? All off the back, like all roundhouse kick. We're going back to 2005 because, frankly, even at the World Grand Prix level, there are a lot of people whose off the line back leg is just subpar at best. And it's like, if we can control and do the little things at a really elite level, that's going to give us a huge advantage over those people, if that makes sense, right? So real quick, we're going to warm up, jump into roundhouse kick. We're going to do some double kicks, and I'm going to hammer you guys hard today because, like I said, we're mobile. We know how to create that force through the ground, right? So now we have to do what our 2020 champion, 2020 Armor champion just stated. We have to be repeatable in that effort, right? If you look at somebody who's like 16 or 17 and you watch them fight and it's like they can't sprint, as Tim would tell you, we would say that they're neurologically dull. And that's not a negative thing. It just means they can't dig deep in their mind, in their CNS, and their central nervous system to create that explosive power again and again and again. That's not going to be us. Okay, so to get started, we're going to go with what we worked on 2 weeks ago, that real quick warm up. We're going to go side to side squat. So your first leg should be just under you, staying nice and low across to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. All right, real quick, we're gonna go with a calf raise, but we're gonna do it a little different today. So we're gonna go pop up, quick, down, 1, 2. So up as fast as we can, nice and controlled on the way down. So that way, whenever we go to kick, we're exploding into the kick. All right, ready, up, down, 1, 2. That's 1, we need 4 more reps. Up, down, 1, 2. Up, down, up, down, nice and slow. Last one, up, nice and slow, all the way down. Real quick, straight leg raise. Notice I'm not swinging my leg, that's cheating. Using our hips, nice and controlled. All the way up, opposite hand to opposite foot. 10 reps, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Last one, we're gonna go for a high knee run. I want 30 reps, so it's 15 each leg. Stand nice and tall, core nice and braced. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, sweet. So we're gonna jump straight into roundhouse kick. What we're gonna focus on today, just like Dr. Hahn told us, I'm sure, give me a thumbs up if you've ever fought somebody that when they're facing you like I am now, right before they kick, they do this. Yeah, pretty much everybody, right? Everybody's fought that guy. It's that quarterfinal of like, oh, I'm gonna kill this guy. He does this before he kicks, or shoulders and then kicks. We're not gonna be that guy because of what Dr. Hahn just showed us. So what we're gonna do 6 reps. We're gonna build in intensity as we go. So the 4th, 5th, and 6th rep are competition level roundhouse kicks. The only reason we're starting off like this is just wanna make sure that nobody pulls anything while they're at home. Nobody's there to help you. So for this first one, we're gonna get set, no bouncing, because like we talked about last week, when we're bouncing, we can hide things a little bit easier. We can hide those errors. No bouncing, get set. When I say go, we're gonna not only drive with that back leg, I want you to try pulling with the front leg. Too many people are essentially kicking one leg. We're using both. We're recruiting all of our power on this one. So when I say go, numbers 1, 2, and 3, we're just stretching out on these first 3, okay? All right, get set, ready. 1, reset. 2, slowly building in intensity. Number 3, 3. There you go. We should be good to go now. So 4, 5, and 6, competition level. We're in semifinals at U.S. Olympic team trials or whatever country you're calling in from. We're at finals of our team trials. This is for everything. So number 4, get ready. Get set. 4. There you go. Driving with the back leg, pulling with the front leg. Get set. 5. Last one, best one. Get set. Go. There you go. All right, switch legs. We're gonna go right leg this time. Remember, first 3, just building in intensity. Ready? 1. Reset. 2. Still building in intensity. This is the last practice one, if you want to call it that. Ready? 3. All right, max effort now. This is for that Olympic gold medal you've been training for. Ready? 4. Get set. 5. Last one, best one. Ready? 6. There you go. Nice work, everybody. So again, we want to really focus on that roundhouse kick, that we're not just pushing off with the back leg. We're pulling with that front leg. Everything moves at once. We're not going to be this guy anymore. Hips, shoulders, feet, everything at once. We turn over quick and we get our foot on that target. What's important about this, especially, unfortunately, right now we have to compete on systems like Dado, where it's like so many times we see that athlete kick the chest guard really well, but it's like, oh, the angle wasn't perfect. And it's like, we can take that part out of the equation by making sure we're completely turned over. We're no longer going to be those people that 45 a kick and then come up to me after the match and go, yeah, I lost. I don't understand it. Yeah, I watched your match. You're not turning your foot over. You watch great athletes like Dae-Hoon Lee, and it's like, yeah, his foot is always turned over. And in that vein, and I'll do, since I can't ask, for those of you that don't know, if you had to take a stab at how many kicks around Dae-Hoon Lee does per match at a Grand Prix, anybody have any idea? You know, type it up in the comments real quick. Does he do 10 kicks around? Does he do 100 kicks around? Like, what are we thinking?
110 kicks around?
Yeah, close. So Dae-Hoon Lee, you know, a 13-time Grand Prix champion, averages 40 kicks around. Yeah, 40. Yeah, of course you know. You don't count, dude. Like, you don't count. Yeah, 40 kicks around. So he hits 120 kicks a match. To put it in perspective, the average for a heavyweight final at a Grand Prix is between 65 and 70. So he's doubling the amount of effort, or doubling the amount of effort, doubling the amount of kicks thrown in his Grand Prix matches. So, but if you notice, all of his kicks are still super intense and really high level. So now we're going to start to apply that roundhouse kick we just did. We got it up to competition strength. I'm going to grab a timer, so you're not even going to know exactly how long we're going. I'm still going to count. We're going to go on that roundhouse kick. We're going to reset quick and immediately get back in the match. The goal here is consistent effort and consistent quality over the amount of time, okay? So don't worry, we're not going to go for 20 minutes. I got your back, because let's face it, it's a Sunday. I don't usually kick on Sundays. I'm not going for 20 minutes, but we're going to watch the time on my count. We're going to go roundhouse kick. I'm supposed to go left leg first. We're going to go roundhouse kick, immediately reset and get back into it. All right, ready? These are all competition level roundhouse kicks. And go. 1, reset. 2, reset. 3, reset. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9. Last one, best one. 10. There we go. We're still in it. Switch your stance, right leg this time. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, best one, 10. Okay, so we said Dae-Hoon does 40 kicks in 2 minutes. Super high quality, really, really consistent. We just did 20 kicks, giving really, really intense high effort, right at 59 seconds. So to put that in perspective, we need to be able to do what we just did a whole other minute without stopping. So essentially 2 more sets, take a minute break, and then repeat 2 more times, 2 more rounds rather. So that should give you a little bit of an idea of, okay, am I more along the lines on the scale of being a little bit dull? Which again, don't take it in the context of intelligence. You could argue marathon runners are going to be dull when doing super intense Olympic lift. and vice versa. It's just not what they're trained for. That being said, make sure the timer's going so I don't let it run too long. We're gonna wait about 15 more seconds. So I've given you a little bit over a minute. We maintain a longer rest to work ratio when we're training something. Yeah, neuromuscular efficiency, that's the smart way to put it. So in about 10 seconds, we're gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna hammer it again. Why? Because we have to be super consistent, just like our friends at 2020 Armor say. So about 5 seconds, back to left leg. Get ready, hyper intense, bouncing. All right, and 3, 2, 1, 1. Reset, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, best one, right? 10. Switch your stance, going right into it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more, best ones. 9. And last one, 10. That was 20 reps again. Lo and behold, we're right at a minute. Go figure. It's almost like this was thought out in advance. So while we're taking a quick break, does anybody notice that, oh, like either quality is dropping or starting to get a little fatigued? That's good. Thank you, Autumn. I appreciate that. This is evidence that we need more. Either way, we've got a structural issue, right, that Dr. Hahn talked about, where it takes 100% effort to do a roundhouse kick. Well, yeah, nobody can maintain a 100%, oh my gosh, this takes all my muscle recruitment, everything I've got to do this roundhouse kick. The idea is we get it down enough, we become efficient at it. Hopefully it's less than 50%. And that way we can just keep hammering it. And we can keep digging deep in that CNS well and really recruiting all of our strength. And that way, you know, it's finals at World Championships, but our roundhouse kick is still on point in match 6. Oh, look at that. Our minute is up. So this time, a little bit different. Instead of just roundhouse kick, we're gonna go 2. Roundhouse, roundhouse. Super simple, but keep in mind, nobody's kicking at us. That's the element we haven't added in. It's still not realistic. We've got to get the most basic stuff down before we add a load, just like Dr. Hahn said. We don't add in another person kicking at our face while we're trying to work conditioning until we've got the base layer down. So now, roundhouse kick, we'll go left, right, and then right, left. Still the same number of kicks. So there'll be a little bit more time in between. All right, let's jump up and get into it. All right, ready? 1. Reset. 2. 3. Give a little motion. Remember, we got more time in between on this one. 4. 5. And switch your legs. Ready? 1. Get set. 2. 3. 2 more, the best ones. 4. 5. So we added to it. Remember, the goal here is not to survive around doing this in competition, but the goal is 40 kicks is the minimum in a round, because again, that's the average. means there are some rounds where Daehoon only does 30. And then there are some rounds like the Grand Prix final last year where he scored 65 points in 2 rounds. And it's like,
A little above average.
yeah, little bit above average. So it's one of those
High
things.
score mean? Is that good?
What'd you say?
What does high score mean? Is that good?
Yeah, high score is a good thing for those of you that don't know. You want to win by points or when you defeat your opponent's gym owner. That's the only other way to win.
Well, then you're the owner of the gym if you do that.
Yeah, exactly. And so Dr. Hahn taught us we need to be able to move properly, right? Again, like you said last week, we can't add a load to something when there's a deficiency. You have to earn the right to rotate, like you said. My mom marched for her right to rotate, but it was a different time. Then we have to be able to recruit the right thing at the right time and create energy through the floor and explode into those kicks. If those 2 elements don't work, you can have the world's greatest roundhouse kick, but if you have to take a week off in between to recover, it's not a great roundhouse. We need to be doing 40 kicks per round, 6 matches in a row. And like Tim said, if we're lucky, we have an hour in between an hour in between our matches. And it's like, the WT requires a minimum of 10 minutes in between matches. That means they can make you fight every 10 minutes until that tournament is done. And you know what? I think it was Dutch Open 3 years ago. It was like my quarter, my semi, and my finals were all fought in the same hour because they didn't have any other matches in that ring. And so it's like, it's just what you've got to do.
Yeah.
So
And you can't come with the approach of like, oh, that's not fair. It's like that's the game. You have to, like I said, every horrible tournament has a winner. Someone won Dutch Open, someone's going to win Worlds, someone's going to win the Olympics, or how bad it is. So to get ourselves in that spot to be able to thrive there and do it. And so again, the more we can raise all our capacities and get things lined up here, it's why we try and break things down, isolated environments. So when we can reintegrate them and put them back, we have more of your ability, right? We're not bringing dysfunction into the game.
exactly.
There's a thing called the anaerobic power reserve. This is important for everyone. It goes really in line with all the stuff we talked about today with what Dr. Hahn said about him being, very fast twitch and powerful, which is really, you want that in athletes. Like that's, a really amazing quality to have. But then obviously that takes aerobic or breathing ability to recover. You can't eat food in between rounds to get more fast energy. So once it's depleted, right, it just takes
It's gone.
or rest,
Yeah.
right? Like I tried to eat in a fight one time. It was not fun. So the anaerobic power reserve is the difference between your top end capacity and your aerobic threshold. There's a gap, right? So for Taekwondo, we need some. If it's too little, meaning you have aerobics good, but the anaerobic is only a little bit higher, then you're not going to be strong enough to make the chest gear light up, right? Or if you have a big gap, you can make it light up, but like Steven said, you're going to wait a minute between kicks. So we have to have a high capacity and a relatively high aerobic threshold base. Now there's a trade-off between the both. So we have to be willing to give a little bit off the top to increase this back end. So that way, and then it's about, once we get that, then we train these to make what we call the contractions sustainable. And all that means is, like he was saying, you do 40 kicks around, 120 a fight, 6 fights at 720 kicks at competition pace, that each one is not draining you. You're not like, okay, I got one more kick. Here's everything. It's got to be like again, like, right? NBA players, before they go to, the game, you see them, and how many shots are they doing before the game? Hundreds, right? Like Dr. Hahn, how many shots and kicks and passes are your players doing before a match?
In the prep,
Yeah, like,
we actually limit them.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
right?
because we know the biggest things that we deal with are hamstring and groin injuries.
Yep.
So if you're doing like a high velocity kick, so even if you, like, how many shots do you think a player has in a match?
Right.
Less than 10. Like an individual, maybe 5.
Yeah.
So when some of our athletes after training are just like, because that's what they like to do, they like to score goals.
Yes.
And then like after training, they're just going and they're kicking. And then we have cameras on everything. and we count 35 shots for a guy.
Yes.
And then later on in the week, this guy is complaining of hamstring and groin issues. So we kind of look back at the tape and like, hey, we have to limit you. So even before training, before a match, there's a drill where they're shooting. I would say for each guy, they're shooting a maximum 10 times.
Yeah, and these
That's all.
maximum velocity shots, right? They're coming
Correct.
in.
Correct.
So when it's that high, you have to absolutely, like, I'm in total agreement with that, right? Because it's not like, I just need to hit it hard enough. Like, no, you got to be bringing the heat to, like, you know, a 3-1 game is a high scoring game for 4-2.
Right.
It's not
Right.
65-39 in a Dae-Hoon Lee fight or something, right? So, right, it's a sliding scale. Like we're saying, the higher output we need, reps are limited. Like we said with the plyometrics earlier, right? You want to jump really high. It's you get 5 by 1, 5-1 jump, rest a minute, come back up, and you're like, boom. So we're raising the
Right.
So then when we come in what we call sub-maximally, where it's a high sustainable contraction where we want for Taekwondo, you can do it good enough to score, and again and again and again. That's why, again, this sport, I always give people props for competing in it, because you can't be the fast guy, you can't be the enduring guy, you can't be the smart guy. You need all the parts. You got to be a three-headed beast, right?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I think something for everyone here to understand is that this knowledge that Tim and Steve and Master Gafour are giving you is like, this is the stuff that we wish we had. Like, imagine we approached the game back then the way that we're kind of like alluding to now. And it's like, even the simple fact, like Steve's doing a 1 minute drill, timing it, and then there's 20 kicks because it equals X amount of kicks in a round. Like, we never did that stuff back then.
No.
All we did was kick. And it was really just kind of like, how many times can you kick? How hard can you kick?
Was it feel good? Like, we wanted this. We didn't know what we didn't know. We knew we didn't know it, and we're searching. But like,
Right.
it all started because we were sitting around going, man, we were our own test subjects, right? We did this. And we come back with our handy cam and look at the video, right, and watch it together all on the little screen, and did it. But all of a sudden, right, we start to know it. But I'm like 30, and you know, it's hard to make junior team when you're 30. It's
Right.
right? So that's the stuff. That's why our sessions are not like, here's a million reps. Here you're gonna, like, no one here is in a puddle of sweat on their back, like about to vomit.
Right.
For a reason. Because we really believe this is the stuff that if you go, you watch the recording, you listen to it again, there's just so many nuggets in here that we're trying to bring there. Like, and not just, well, your hamstring sore. Well, it's gonna not be sore on Monday, right? Like, you'll not be sore, but you won't be any better.
Right.
Awesome, Dr. On. Steven, anything you want to add today before we wrap up here?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd throw in is just that it's about training smarter. You know, you can train hard, that's fine, but it's about training smarter, because we kicked for, what was it, 3 minutes? It's like, that was half a match. I'm pretty good and sweaty, and it's like, every time we go to seminars, every time we run our seminars, right, we'll always ask the question, like, how long do you guys think I train? And without fail, kids are like, 3 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours twice a day.
4 sessions, yes.
Yeah, and it's like, I can tell you exactly how long I'm going to kick tomorrow morning, and it's going to be for an hour, and it's going to be super intense the entire time with breaks exactly timed down to the minute. I mean, you can get really far in this sport with no resources, without a good coach, no training partner, if you're just smart about how you go about this.
Yeah, awesome. That's just, like I said, there's more nuggets there. Master Gafour, anything you want to add in, sir, about today?
No, you guys, all the people on the group here, you guys are very, very privileged and blessed. As Dr. Han said, I wish we had this information when we were training. You don't understand how valuable it is and how special it is. And even if in today's time, this information is not readily available either, right? So you guys are definitely blessed with what you're getting. And thank you, sir, for passing the knowledge to everybody.
Oh, man, we're grateful to have you on here. And like I said, it's just some new next level stuff that when Dr. Han gets to, you know, I'm always trying to like find my insights from, I spend most of my time looking at other sports, right? I'm big, if you guys want to find cool stuff, track and field Twitter is awesome. Go in there. Stuart McMillan, Dan Pfaff, and these guys from Altus are just like, I've learned more stuff from going in there and learning about their training stuff to then apply. So I'm always asking him questions and trying to listen when he tells me about what they do at LAFC and how they are measuring. We have two days this week we get in. These are their days of this much rotational volume, this much lateral work or speed work or endurance. And I'm like, yeah, these guys are absolute masters and pros, and they have hundreds of millions of dollars on the line to do it. So the resources aren't an issue. So I'm trying to deconstruct that and go, well, how do we apply these things here? So we're still, all of us here are like student first, teacher second. How do we learn something new and push it forward? If you're here, I think you have a student mindset, no matter your ability or age or competition level, that you know there's more out there. You know you can get better. We're honored to be of service for you guys. That's all we got, guys. Thank you so much, Dr. Hahn, Dr. Gafour, Mr. Steven. Thank you guys so much. I don't think anyone had a question today. I didn't have any questions. I don't think anyone had a question. Maybe Autumn, did you have a question? I can't remember if you had a question or not.
I have an idea, but not a
What?
question.
Okay, please go ahead, ma'am. Please and thank you.
Okay, so do you remember how we did this and then went down to here and then turned around? Kind of like
Yep.
that?
Remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah, the idea I have is like we start here and then we go on one leg and then we spin around and just land on both legs.
I love it. Will you do me a favor and video that for me today on like Instagram or Facebook and tag me? And then we're going to do it. What we're going to do is we're going to do it again next week. I can see how much you've improved from your hard work and repetition. Can you do that?
I think I can, sir.
I think you can too, whether we believe we can or we can't, we're right. So I want to see measurable improvement, even these things that maybe we think are more qualitative. We can't look at video and go, look here, I jumped this far, I did this drill like this, and you can see it. And eventually what the big test is, I want you to be able to take, like Steven said, there's no advantage, just we get a better squat, we get better rotation. You don't start the fight up 2-0 because you have a better rotational plank. Like I wish we did, right? Like that'd be awesome. I'm like, look at my lateral lunge, it's 4-0. Like this is on. And I back squat like this much, it's 5-0. All it gets is transferability now into our sport. We know it increases our capacity to do our sport well, and that's the advantage. So what I like to see, one, is how much you move better on that one drill, Autumn. And then two, look at your kicks, and the proof is in, are your kicks better? Like, I don't really, like lateral lunge, rotational power, I love it, but I love it because I know what the outcome comes in the sport, not because I think it's just cool to do like cool human tricks. Like it's good, but as soon as we saw something better, if we found out like jump on a single leg pogo stick and that is the drill to get a world championship and we have data to prove it, like we're Domination Camp next week will be everyone has their pogo stick, right? Like the data, I want to follow the stuff that we know works. And as soon as we find better stuff, we are constantly pushing our knowledge to you guys to bring the best we can possibly find. So,
Tim,
go ahead, Doc. Yes.
real quick, I just had an idea.
Please.
We had kind of talked.
Things we need to announce. Yeah.
Yeah, we had kind of talked about it before, but like I said, when this pandemic kind of hit, it was like, what has this event done for us? It's afforded us some time. And I think one of the biggest things that I'm grateful for now is I can start to give back to the martial arts community and kind of help people. Again, I'm the head of rehab for the LA Football Club. I own my own clinic. I have a family. So
What's scheduled normally? You go to LAFC at their thing at 6 a.m.
So I wake up at 4:30 or 5. I get some work done.
Yep.
I head to the club around 6. I leave around 3. Then I head to my office. Then I leave around 7.
Yeah.
So at least the clinic is Monday through Friday, but the soccer team, it's 6-7 days a week.
And how many individual people can you work with outside of Health Fit or LAFC? 0. 1.
0. Like I primarily take care of my players.
No
and
time.
then here at the office, I just mentor my staff. So they can take care of all the clients that come through our doors. So what I was thinking of during this period, I want to take 2 people to mentor. You know,
Can it be me and Tim?
You guys, yes.
Yeah, sweet, sold. We're done. All right, see you, everybody.
So, I'm going to take 2 people to mentor. And I'm with how everything's going. I think I have about 4 to 6 weeks where I can do this.
Yeah, before back up and
yeah, before things get crazy. And then right now it's like, if you're an athlete, if you're a coach, you're a business owner, you want to become if you're a health professional already, or you want to go in the healthcare profession, like you can pick my brain. I've 7, 8-time U.S. national team member, 2-time World Cup silver medalist. I've worked with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I work with Cirque du Soleil. I currently work with LA Football Club. I own my own office, so pretty much if it's something that you guys feel would be beneficial to you, again, I want to sift through and then just see if it's even possible. But I'm going to put my email, and this is only for serious people that want to learn, that you're sponges, you want to apply it, so like this is not for you if you just want some
right. So like, what would
fun.
Because I know you work with, Olympic volleyball champions, taekwondo world champions, all sorts of like coaches. If someone was a coach or a school owner or had a team, what would be something like, what would that look like for them? As far as coaching, mentoring, like you're trying to help them get this knowledge on like an accelerated timeline to where they get back out of COVID shutdown, and they're not
I'm looking at a 6-week process. Initially start with a one-on-one eval with me. We talk about your goals, whether it's your own. I always think you have to have your own body goals. Number one, you have to explore your own body, because if you're not able to feel those things, it's very hard to impart them on other people. If you're not mobile, you can't tell someone to stretch. You have to work on yourself first. So, start with an hour evaluation. We look at your goals for yourself. We look at your goals, whether it's your career, whether it's your school, whether it's your students. And then we basically come out with a 6-week plan that we run through our remote coaching program. On top of that, you have a weekly video call with me where we, monitor your progress, making sure that you're accountable. Number 2, just talking about anything that you need. It can be, again, health related, it can be strength and conditioning related. It can be even like, just personally, like how are you approaching things every day? It's like I said, these are the things that we wish when we were athletes that we had. And then now it's like, oh, we're like, even now we're still putting the pieces together, and it makes sense like all the time. So how can we optimize your own programs and optimize your own bodies? So again, it's just an idea, but I put my email there, drjason@healthfitinc.com. If it's something you're seriously interested in, only, like, I don't, like, again, I don't want to waste my time on this thing, but feel free to email me, reach out to me, say you're interested, and then I could potentially come up with a game plan.
And have you posted this anywhere else yet? Or is this
no, just here.
He's gonna take 2 and he's gonna post it, and he works with people worldwide soon. I'm sure they're gonna be gone. I can't emphasize enough how much of a good deal like this, the opportunity of your time that you don't normally have is. And then for the school owners or a coach, for me, I think about it from that perspective of, you have this time, you're going to open up again, hopefully May 1st, might be June 1st, somewhere in that range, we know. And it's going to be on as far as service, coaching, delivery, etc. All those things are like on, and there's not time for new learning again. There's not that. And we go, we wish we had used this time like you're doing now. So if you're someone who's here taking advantage of this time now, then it might be free. I hope June, but with the soccer club, they're going to be having him back doing rehab and stuff on people soon enough, one-on-one or whatnot. So I just know that's, it starts up most important people next. So he'll be gone before me. I'll also probably be around the least important at the end. And I think this is really freaking cool, man.
All right. Well, just shoot me an email if it's something that you guys are interested in. So
awesome.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you guys so much. Next week's Easter Sunday. Should we do this still, or does everyone want to chill? Thumbs up if you want to do it, and give me like, nah, if I'm being inconsiderate. Yeah. Like, I'm someone that's like, I was talking to Trish about having her on and doing a same little thing, talking about some things to do for health and rehab.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so I thought 5 minutes of like, hey, you have this type of thing from a athletic trainer standpoint. And she goes, but it's Easter. And I'm like, okay, cool. Great, you know.
Am I gonna wear like an Easter bunny outfit or what?
Yeah. Next Sunday. You what? Okay, cool. Now it looks like I'll send out confirmation, you guys. And as always, post your one. Who got one takeaway from today? Raise your hand. Got your one takeaway again. Raise your hand. Awesome. Post that one takeaway. Tag us on it on the Book of Faces on the gram. We'll post our handles up here so we can know what you learned. Because every week we're progressing it. You're seeing, right? The first week I know, Bella, it's your first day here, so welcome aboard to the crew. But then next week we're going to build on this. Next week we're going to build on that. So bring your friends in. That's how we help recreate the ideas. So when you bounce it, just like you hear me saying, I get an idea from Dr. Hahn, and it changed. Like I'm like, I got a new idea now. The same way you do that with your friends and teammates. So we want that to happen because we learn faster that way. So bring them on. We're excited, and thank you guys very much.